everyone, welcome back to our channel. My name is Desta and this is Q-Est Fashion Hub. If you're new here, you're welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, you are also welcome back. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to cut this sleeveless jumpsuit with a cow neck effect. So if this sounds like what you're interested in, let's go straight into it. So the first thing I'm going to do is to do my calculations first. So the full length of the jumpsuit is 63 inches, while the half length I'm working with is 18 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract 18 from 63. Okay, so by the time I was done subtracting, I got 45. So the length of the trousers, which is the palazzo at the lower part, is going to be 45 inches. I'm going to be adding 2 inches for hemming allowance at the lower part, and then half inch for the joining allowance to the upper part, which gave me 47.5. So approximately I'm going to be using 48 inches for the trouser, okay, including all my allowances. So initially I was taking my measurement this way, but I wanted the red color to be at the lower part very well, like I want it full at the lower part. So what I'm going to do is just to adjust my tape rule and take all my measurement from the lower part like this, so that the full length can have this red effect. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to go ahead and mark 48 inches like this. So after that, after marking my full length, I'm just going to connect into a straight line like you can see me do. So after measuring that, okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is to mark my crotch depth. Okay, to get your crotch depth, divide your hip by 4 and add 1 inch to it, because it's a free jumpsuit that's going to be free at the lower part. So the hip I'm working with is 44. So by the time I divided it by 4, I got 11. So I'm going to add 1 inch to it to give me 12. So I'm using 12 inches for my crotch depth, and then I need half an inch to join it to the upper part. So what I'm marking here now is 12.5. okay, you need half an inch to join it to your upper part, while you divide your hip by 4 and add 1 inch to get your crotch your crotch depth. Okay, so at this point I'm marking my hip line, which is 10 inches. So I'm marking 10.5 because I needed half an inch also on top. I hope that is clear. Okay, so once you're done, now we're going to take our measurement. So at this point, I'm not going to be using the waist measurement. Okay, I'm not using my waist measurement, so just follow me step by step. So I'll come to this hip line. What I'm going to do is to divide my hip by 4. Okay, hip by 4, divide my hip by 4. The hip I'm working with is 44 inches, divided by 4 is 11 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and mark it. I'm going to add 1 inch for ease allowance and 1 inch for sewing allowance, because this jumpsuit is a free one. Okay, it's not a fitted one. So whatever I have there, I'm going to come and mark it at this waist region. I had 13, so I'm marking 13 all the way. And then I'm just going to go ahead and connect into a straight line like this. Your hip divided by 4, which is 11 for my case, and I added 1 inch for ease allowance and 1 inch for sewing allowance. Okay, so what I got there is 13. So I'm just highlighting that part. Okay, so after that, for my crotch extension, so whatever you have for your crotch depth, divide it by 4. Okay, so for me I had 12 inches. Remember, I added half an inch to it, okay, for the sewing allowance, but what I got is 12 inches. So you're going to divide that 12 inches by 4. Okay, so when I divided my 12 inches by 4, I got 3 inches. So I'm going to extend my crotch by 3 inches. Okay, my crotch extension is going to be 3 inches. So I'm just going to connect like this. Okay, can you see what I'm doing, guys? So in your own case, divide whatever you have at that crotch depth by 4, and then just impute your own. So after creating that, okay, so after creating that, the next thing you're going to do is to come to that part. If you want to shape this jumpsuit, you can come to that M part, okay, that lower part, subtract 2 inches and just shape it. okay? But for me, I want it free, okay? The person that owns this jumpsuit wants it free, okay? So now you're going to come back to the waist region. That is the waist region. Because we are not going to, I'm not using the waist measurement, I'm going to be using the bust measurement for that part, because we really want this jumpsuit very free. So what I'm going to do is to divide the bust by 4. Bust by 4, you had me right. The bust I'm working with is 40 inches, so I divided it by 4. I added 1 inch for ease allowance and 1 inch for sewing allowance, which gave me 12 inches in total. Yes, I'm not going to be using the waist measurement like I said, so I'm just going to blend it into the hip measurement like you can see me do, okay? Yeah. So once you're done doing that, you're just going to come to that part, which is the waist part. Like I said, if you want it shapy, you can shape your own, but for me, I don't want it shapy. I'm just going to come down like this, straight down, okay? So come to the waist region and subtract 1/2 inch, and then I'm going to blend it into the side just to give that part, just to make the waist sit properly, okay? So once I blend it in, this is what I've got. So just go ahead and start cutting, okay? Please, if you are deriving any value from this video, I will encourage you to subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and give this video a huge thumbs up. Don't also forget to share this video with your loved ones. Thank you very much. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut all the way. Like I said, if you want it shape, you can subtract 2 inches from that part and then just shape it in, okay? Okay, see what I'm doing? But for me, I'm not going to shape it. I'm just going to cut it, open that part straight, okay? So this is what I got. At this point, I was not cutting the front panel, so moving to the cutting of the back panel, I'm just going to place the front panel on another fabric like this and make sure that I have extra like 3 inches at the front and probably 3 inches at the back. Yes, 3 inches at the front, 3 inches at the back as your allowance. So just watch what I'm doing. So I'm just going to first of all draw a starting line, which is a straight line tracing the front panel like you can see me do on the screen. So once I'm done, okay, in some cases you can decide to add your allowance to your front all the way from start to the end, okay? So I'm going to highlight this crotch line like this. So like I'm saying that you can add your allowance to the front, but for me, I'm going to be adding all my allowance to the back. You can use any method that works for you. So this is another method, okay? So I've done videos that I added my allowance to the front, but this one I'm going to be adding my allowance to the back. So I'm going to extend my crotch depth for the crotch extension from the back. I extended it by 2.5 and then I came down by 1/2 inch. Crotch extension for the back, I extended it by 2.5. I came down by 1/2 inch. I beg your pardon. So I'm going to subtract 2 inches. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm subtracting 2 inches. Can you see? So from that 2 inches, I'm now going to mark whatever waist measurement I have at the front. So for the front, I have 12 inches. So I'm going to mark that 12 inches from that waist measurement. Can you see? I subtracted 2 inches from whatever I have from the front and then I replace it at the back. So I'm going to connect it like this back to the new crotch extension. For my back crotch extension, I used 2.5 and I came down by 1/2 inch to make that crotch part sit properly. Okay, so now I marked the waist measurement that I have for the back. The back and the front waist measurement is the same thing. Okay, so I'm raising the back by 1.5 inches. So I'm going to connect it to the side like this. You remember for the front we dropped it by 1/2 inch, 0.5 inch. For the back I'm raising it by 1.5 inch depending on the size you are making this jumpsuit for. In some cases you can raise it by 1 inch and you can raise it by 2 inches, 2.5 depending on how big the person is. So I'm just going to be adding 2 inches to the back panel like this to 2 inches. Can you see? And then from there I'm just going to connect it all the way down. So now this 2.5 I added to my crotch extension, I'm just going to blend it into the knee part. Can you see? Blend it in and then take it all the way down straight. Okay, blend it in and just take it all the way down straight. Okay, like I'm explaining, I subtracted 2 inches from the front and I replaced it at the back. That means the waist measurement for the front and the back is the same thing. So my crotch extension, I extended it by 2.5 and then I blended it in. So I'm just going to go ahead now and cut. Okay, so now see what I'm doing. So before I forget, I am adding 1 inch for my zipper allowance. Can you see? And then I stopped 10 inches. I think 9 to 10 inches before my crotch depth. Okay, can you see? This is my 1 inch for my zipper allowance. Okay, but you can choose not to add it. You can decide to just use the 1/2 inch you're going to use to sew to join your zipper. Whichever work for you is fine, but I added 1 inch for my zipper allowance, so I went ahead to just cut like this. Okay, so that's where the zipper allowance stops. Can you see? So I'm just trying to trim. Can you see? So we're going to cut the back also. Okay, can you see? So once you're done cutting, this is what we've got. So I'm trimming the lower parts to make sure that it is equal. So moving to the cutting of the upper parts. Okay, basically I'm marking 1 inch for my zipper allowance before I took all my measurements. So my half length is 18, so I added 1 inch to it, making it 19. I need 1/2 on top to join it at the shoulder and 1/2 to join it to the trouser part. Okay, so that is 1 inch for my allowance. Now taking the back measurement, the back I'm working with is 15. Okay, so 15 divided by 2 is 7.5, but because we are sewing a sleeveless jumpsuit, we're not going to be using 7.5. We're going to be marking 6.5. so the shoulder just sit properly where it's supposed to sit. So if your back is 14 divided by 2, just subtract 1 from it. That means you're going to be using 6 instead of 7. Now I took my neckline for the back, 2 inches by 3.5, and then I just connected it around neckline. I went down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. Okay, and I just blended my shoulder slope in like this. Back neckline, sorry, is 3.5 by 2 inches. 3.5 by 2 inches, and I marked it. So for my armhole depth, I'm using 8 inches for my armhole depth. Okay, so divide your bust by 6 and add 1.5 to it to get your armhole depth. So at that point I also marked my back divided by 2. You know I used 6.5, so I marked it at that point. I look for the midpoint of the armhole depth. I came in by 1/2 inch like this, and then I'm going to create my armhole like you can see me do. So at that point you're going to divide your bust by 4. So the bust I'm working with is 40 divided by 4 is 10. Okay, so I'm just creating my armhole, connecting the 3 points together like you can see me do. If you are used to this channel, you should understand what I'm doing basically. So create your armhole like this. Okay, so after creating my armhole, I'm just highlighting it with the chalk so that it will be visible for you guys to see. So after that, I'm going to add 1 inch for ease allowance and 1 inch for sewing allowance, like we did to the trouser part. 1 inch for sewing allowance and 1 inch for ease allowance. I'm just going to come to the hem line, and whatever I have at that bust measurement, which is 12, I'm going to impute it at that lower part, which is the waistline. Like I said earlier, I'm not going to be using waist measurement. I'm going to be using the bust measurements, okay? Because at the end I want this jumpsuit, the owner wants it free so that she can use a belt to gather it. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut like you can see me do on the screen. Okay, so I came here and I took 1/2 inch in. I just want to eliminate zipper bulge, and then I'm going to connect it straight down to blend it in so that I can cut it off. Can you see what I'm doing? Okay, and then I'm going to cut it out. This will help eliminate any zipper bulge. Okay, so now I also came up by 1/2 inch, and then I blended it in, okay, to the side, and then I cut it out. But guys, note, please make sure you use this back panel to cut your front panel before you do this 1/2 inch that I just did now. Though I made a mistake by cutting it first before using it to cut the front panel, but I was able to find my way, okay? But please do this first before you remove that 1/2 inch at the waist part. So what you're going to do is that, watch what I'm doing, place it like this in a slant way, because we are trying to get the cow neck effect. We don't want to do slash and spread method. So I'm just doing this method straight on it. So you're going to arrange it like this. Arrange your fabric in a triangular form like this, and then let that part meet the side. And then what you're going to leave here is, make sure what you have here is up to 6.5, because I got 6.5 at this point. So the more space you leave, the more the cow neck effect is going to be. The more lower the cow neck effect is going to be. I don't know if you understand. So just use your chalk to connect like this and trace out. So right there I have 6.5. So if you do 10 inches, it means that your cow neck effect is going to be more lower than the one we have here. So just trace out and cut it out like this. Okay, so this is what we've got, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and notch where the armhole starts from. Okay, so this is it. So at this point I've gone ahead. So this is the front panel, the back panel. This is the back panel with the facing. So the facing is like 5 inches shorter than the main fabric. Okay, I beg your pardon. I did the same thing to the front facing. I did not allow the face to get the lower part. So this is the belt we are going to use. It is 5 inches by your waist measurement times 3 or times 2.5. That's the least you can do. So this is the final look, guys. Even though I did not have time to record the sewing aspect because it was an urgent work that I need to deliver, but this is the final look, guys. If you find this video helpful, look at how cute it is. Please don't forget to like this video, give this video a huge thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, drop a beautiful comment, encourage us by dropping a comment. Yes, that is the least you can do for us. Don't forget to like, share, and drop a comment. I love you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't stop learning, keep learning. Bye.